Hey, Jacob, what's up tonight, my friend?
Oh, what's going on? I noticed that you must have done your magic work and actually making the title start working.
I know, right? It took a second, but I'm going to do it, darn it.
no, I'll tell you this. I can't wait for the shows each and every week. Every single time I keep saying to myself, I know we have to be professional, but every single time I see some of these that are coming up, I'm like, I want to do another show on Monday. I want to know, but I'm like, remember, we gotta go with Sideline Sports because this is our deal. But
Right.
I can't wait each and every week because I don't care. Like I said this before, I said this with what we were chatting about earlier. I don't care about Draymond versus the crowd. That
Right.
will be forgotten the day after game 6 or 7 or whatever. It's over. And then, people will forget. And then people, probably about 3 months earlier, will forget about it. And Colin Cowherd probably said that Draymond was always on his best behavior. So, I mean, that stuff, forget about it.
Right.
We have topics that can go well past, go into everybody's mind's eye. It can do this, and we can bring this. This I look forward to it every week because I always love reading everything and new ideas. And it's like I'm gonna be reading. I'm gonna come up with ideas like we have tonight. I'm gonna come up with the ideas about business, the business of sports, everything. I love every bit of it because there's so much out there.
It really is. And honestly, I'm sorry, I was just, like sharing that we were live right now.
No,
But
right.
and I don't know. I say go Celtics. The only person on the Warriors I really like and have any respect for is Steph Curry. I'm not gonna lie. I respect Steve Kerr too, but I just don't
Yeah.
like a lot of the players there. Draymond's always a, and I don't know. Like,
Well,
and
that's an act. It's an act in the end. It's like he's trying to. You got to remember the NBA has low ratings. They want something like that to try to get higher ratings.
well, get out of China.
I agree.
Sorry.
We'll
Should
talk
I
about
say
that
that?
another day. We
We
will talk about
will.
that another day. Trust me on that.
Um. So what we have an interesting array of topics to discuss tonight. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple I'm going to let you mainly take the lead on because I'm not the best when it comes to fantasy, to be honest
You won't
with
have to
you.
worry about it. You'll get your words in. It's not going to be. There's a lot to it that I'm going to speak about. You'll be able to respond to it.
Right. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Brittany Griner and how we need to release her because we've already exchanged for one other person, but he was there.
It's more than that. It's more than that.
It is.
Yeah.
And we're also going to talk about the ABA.
Mm-hmm.
And our first topic, though, is really important. We're going to be discussing Tim Tebow and his fight against human trafficking.
Yep.
So I'm going to let you take the lead on that right now.
Well, I brought this up because I'm going to bring up a couple others before this. You've heard me, like on Twitter, on Facebook, on just any times that we've ever had conversations, you've heard me. I've talked about having bigger fish to fry.
Right.
Like with the athletes. I love what Deion Sanders does at Jackson State, and I hope if he leaves, it's going to Grambling or something like that to do the same to them. I'm that type that wants to see these schools that are underserved, that don't have the budgets, be used for the money that he has and be able to, because he's doing God's work. And I really have a belief in that. And I also love what Myron Rolle did when he got Myron Rolle from Florida State. He left football and became a brain surgeon. Love that. Lawrence Duvernay Tardif is leaving. He's leaving football again to work on because he worked originally left football originally to go work with the COVID. Now he's leaving it again for other medical, and it's like retire, not being mean,
right?
But you got bigger fish to fry. I mean, I didn't want to see Tebow, and I'm bringing up Tebow from this thing, but I didn't want to see Tebow back because he's got other fish to fry. There are bigger fish to fry in this world, and those are other things we're going to be bringing up. And the thing about Tebow is he's now using his time and his platform for human trafficking, which is about what $150 billion industry. No one speaks about it. It's like the media is deathly afraid of it. You might hear of it. Here's the deal: you might hear of it on Fox News. But true, I'm just saying you might a little bit just to try to be able to get. But here's the deal with it: it's not really heard. It might just be to troll. It's kind of like Aaron Rodgers dating a witch right now to kind of troll his family. They're trolling. Yeah. Anytime it's brought up on Fox, it's just trolling as CNN and MSNBC. It's not real news. They're not bringing it up in depth of anything.
Yeah, none of them are. Like, honestly, so I like my gossip, and I have one website and one podcast that I actually pay for. It's called NT Lawyer, Crazy Days and Nights.
Sure.
And he's done a lot on sex trafficking. So he'll give you more in depth on who's doing what to help. And he's probably got a couple of lines about Tebow doing it as well. So, and what a blind is, just so you know, is when like he'll say like a topic and he'll discuss the topic, but won't say who's doing it.
Sure.
My only concern for Tim Tebow doing this is, and this is where like my gossip stuff kind of comes in, and I'm sorry, but
don't be sorry. I told you, quit saying sorry.
Like a lot of people who there's a lot of like conspiracy theories almost that that's why Vinci died, that he was actually trying to break up a sex trafficking ring. Lindsay Lohan, for real, this did hit the mainstream media, was accosted in an Eastern European country because she saw like a 13, 14-year-old girl who was being taken for a bride, and she tried to stop it herself.
Right.
And she was accosted. Somebody, like her people got her out real quick, but that could have been another big problem. And Chris Cornell was actually doing a lot of work on ending sex trafficking and human trafficking. And there's a lot of gossip around the fact that he could have been suicided.
Yeah.
And it was really funny that Anthony Bourdain committed suicide right after he came out about it too. And about the Me Too movement.
And see, they picked with Bourdain. If they were going to quote, as you say, suicide somebody, you pick. Anthony Bourdain had a huge depression as it was. He talked about it for years. So
he did.
Yeah, so you could absolutely, if you're going to choose somebody on that thing, it'd be him, because you could easily just talk about his that he'd done it all and now he's depressed. I mean, you could do that. And it's like, and you know something? The thing is, you're right. There's conspiracy theories to it. There isn't a proof on it, but this the whole thing is the fact of, let's bring this topic up. Even start the topic. Hell, I would love to have Tim Tebow on a show one day. Love to be able to talk about something like this. You know what I'm saying? And what?
Hold on, there's some. Do you hear that in the background?
What's going on there?
I have no clue. I'm trying to find out, but like I hear people like shouting, and it's not from my building.
Well, that's you see though. I would love to be able to. If there was a way to be able to do it that didn't cost anything, I would love for having him to be able to come on a show like this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we could reach out to him.
No, absolutely. And it's like, it just depends on what, I mean, there might be a cost, and I don't have that, obviously, but I'm like, just an idea, just to bring up the idea of the human trafficking. But look at,
but if he wants to get it out, he wants to get it out. And I'm torn on him being so public about it, because he's putting himself in the bullseye. However, putting yourself in the bullseye, letting it be known what you're doing versus kind of doing it on the DL.
Yeah.
Which one's which?
Well, here's the thing. We've said for this time, and I'm just bringing this up. We've said it many times, you and I both. Donald Trump's a big baby.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
And so are some of his, not all, but so are some of his fans.
Sure. But I'm just saying this. You have to wonder if part of the hate is the part of the hate that he has. I mean, a lot of it is because of himself, but part of the hate by himself. He was the president that worked on human trafficking the most.
And you know what kills me? That damn fool did not even talk about it.
I know.
He did not announce what he was doing. That's like one of the few areas I actually truly respected him in. I hated the fact that he brought about schisms in other areas, but he really did a lot of work, and it was a major focus.
Yeah.
And
you would think he would brag the heck because he bragged about everything. He bragged about everything in the world. He didn't brag about that. I mean, it literally took everybody else's memes. It took everybody's, the little charts. It took all that for them to understand that he was actually doing that.
Yeah.
And that's it. And it's like, those are the things. But it's like, you have to wonder. Of course, we know a lot of the hate is the fact that he is a big baby, like a 14-year-old girl. A lot of
Oh
it.
gosh.
Yes.
Well,
I mean,
that,
a lot
and
of it.
he kind of like took the unpopular opinion, not afraid to say it, the schism that President Obama started in racism. He took that and he made it the Grand Canyon.
Well, the big, but I was saying though, I understand what you're saying. It's like, but what I was saying with that is, you got to go under part of the hate also was the fact that he was nailing that area also. But I mean, okay, let's say 20% of it of the hate, because he's 80% of his hate, no question. He is his own problem, but it can't be 100% because he has a lot of fans. You have to know they're just like everybody that's doing all this. This is one person, 5 people, 10, 20, even 100. And that's, remember how many people are in sex trafficking or who are victim of human trafficking right now.
Exactly. And it's more than you know.
Great.
And here's the thing. This is actually close. So this isn't necessarily trafficking, but sexual abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Even if a kid who is privy to seeing one of their parents have a lot of reckless sex.
Sure.
Like, we're talking in the same room, not a kid walking in on their parents, because that's not sex abuse. That's not being polite, knocking on the dang door. But but when what I'm talking about, the dirty, seedier side of the underbelly of the world, and that's also sex abuse. And people don't recognize that because you're giving a child a very skewed view. And I've known a kid like that. It's very close to my heart. So,
well, the thing is, we're getting into a world where there's a certain subset of people is trying to take the complete innocence out of the people, whether it's the innocent version, or like the innocent version, you could say, is bringing a kid to a drag bar, and stuff like that. That's quote unquote innocent, but it's still freaking them out the way sex is supposed to work in the first place. And then you hear all this news: a 6'6" man trying to that's breaking women's records, saying he's a woman. It's like, it's confused people, and then you get teenagers who are confused. They're already confused in life, and they're into trends. And teenagers are into every trend. Look at TikTok. They'll do the cinnamon up your nose challenge or wherever the hell it's going to be. They're into trends, and this is easily a trend right now, and this is on purpose. Is to try to get as many things. It's like it is to confuse you. The whole thing is not to confuse adults. Adults don't know what they want already. It's to confuse kids, and that's where you start in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what stinks. And here's the thing: everybody wants to say, "Oh, it's all Democrats and a pizza parlor, or it's all Republicans in a bathroom." You know what?
It's everybody.
It knows no political value. It knows no socioeconomic level. It's across all boards. And I'm not the biggest Tim Tebow fan, but hey, awesome what he's doing. That's very good that he's actually really working hard to clear this up and help people. And honestly, I agree with you. As much bragging as Trump did, that should have been one of the things he bragged about the most.
You got to work. It's one of those things where it's like at some point he's got to make a dent. Any of them got to make a dent, but they're just, if they can't make a dent for as much work they have, as much money they put in, you have to wonder how much is really out there as far as the numbers.
Right.
And it's just like, even you can get 50, 100, 200 people, and and out of it, it's like it's nothing. It's like it just keeps happening.
Yes, absolutely.
And they're talking about the pizza parlors and the Republicans in the bathroom, but here's the question: where is the head of the snake? And that head of the snake is pretending to be whatever party it is at that moment. Where is it is the question.
Right. And here's the thing: like, I didn't even know that Prince Edward came to town. I think sex trafficking. I think Jeffrey Epstein, who killed himself on my father's birthday, jackass. Sorry for the cuss word. But why you gotta mess with a good man's birthday?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. No. Apologize. You know who to apologize to. It ain't me.
I mean, he's down there with his daddy Hitler, so hey, that's all I know.
Well, that's the truth there.
I don't know. It's just such a disgusting thing. I don't understand why people, I get, like, I kind of understand why men want a virgin, but why do that? But honestly, that's also why I hate the Saints so much. Because, do you care if I go here?
I don't care. You know me.
All right.
I'm a
I
Bears
don't
fan,
care
so
because.
if I was a Saints fan, I would have said, "Go ahead." You know that.
Well, the Saints ownership, Mrs. Benson, has, it's known that she has actively and actually protected the Archdiocese of New Orleans using the New Orleans Saints from pedophilia allegations and child abuse allegations. And she's actively covered and helped hide some priests who were wanted.
What is she?
I
Is she
had
Catholic? Was she a
yes.
Catholic? Mm-hmm.
What I don't like is that I had a friend who was still like doing research, and he, no longer. I had a friend. He's no longer here with us. So,
Well, we have a lot of mysteries on things like this. It's like, and I can say this. I can say this part. I'm not a journalist, so I'm not a journalist. I said I'm a pundit.
Nor am I.
Yeah,
I took some classes in college, but that's about it.
Yeah, man, I know I can write, but I'm not a journalist. I'm not going to go. I won't be going that deep. There will be, if you get the right people that can go that deep, we can get started. But right. Like I said, it's like if I was to go that deep, I would literally have to give up Pundits Pundit, which I don't want to be able to do because I want to bring it out into the thing, like one of our subjects we're going to bring up tonight about the ABA. I want to bring things out to the forefront and go get people who love to write more than I do. I can write, but I love to who want to do that more and want to study it more and dig in and do all that. That's what I want to get. I want to get it out there. But I know I'm not a journalist. I don't pretend to be.
I had a friend who was honestly his writing ability, it was honestly he could really paint that picture. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, he really could, Jacob. And it's just a shame he's not here anymore.
And you know something, and it's like, I always say this, it's like I have people that, family, everything else say that I can really write, which I believe I can. But that's not one of those, I've written scripts, I've written all that kind of stuff like that, but going deep into something like that means you give everything up. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. All right, Jacob, let me message him. Let's see if he wants to jump on.
Washington. What's up, Denzel Washington?
Yeah, come on. Where's that black guy? You know what, yeah. Denzel? I'm texting you. I'm not even messaging you on Facebook, buddy.
Does he want to come in?
I don't know. I'm asking him.
He heard about the Tommy Pham thing. Wants to talk about it.
Hopefully, because I won't give you much.
Trust me, you'll get more than you think.
We'll wait to hear from him. So let's talk a little bit about Tommy Pham. What's going on there?
We know about the whole Jock Peterson deal. He goes because of fantasy football, which Mike Trout was the fantasy commissioner. Oh God! And this is what I'm going to let people know this. I play one fantasy football game a year out of my own little competitiveness. This time around, I'll be playing with my sideline sports people. That's all I'm going to be playing with left. I can't stand fantasy football otherwise. I can't stand the big leagues. I can't stand any, the ones that are money. I can't stand all of it. And I'll tell you why. Because you get all of these situations where, the people that get injured, like week one, they'll get threatened on social media, like DMs and threatened on social media for getting hurt because it hurt the guy's season. It hurt the guy's season in fantasy, which is a fantasy. It's their choice, which is complete luck, which is a bit of gambling to begin with if money's up on the board in the first place. And the problem, and so the thing with Tommy Pham is goes up to Jock Peterson and smacks him. Just because of a whole situation with with one of his fantasy teams.
Why? Just because of it? That's ridiculous.
And he smacks him, and it's like, for one thing, that should have been an all-out fight because Jock can say all he wants to about, I don't think it's good to use violence. He can say that and that's probably true in his own mind. But at some point, someone like Tommy Pham's going to try doing that again. And doing it again and doing it again. And he only knows He doesn't know, oh, I have respect because he walked away. He doesn't know that. Anyone with a thought process like that is going to do that. The biggest issue I have with the Tommy Pham deal is the fact of fantasy. It's now a gambling issue.
And absolutely. That's why DraftKings, is that it? Are you there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, you froze or I froze for a minute.
It's like no, it's one of those, and it's one of those deals where it becomes a gambling issue. And we already know the whole issue with Vander Kane from the in hockey, and he has all kinds of problems with gambling. There's many gambling issues. They just talked about Drake the hip, the musician. They talk about he has a horrible game. He has a horrible gambling issue. Phil Mickelson,
Jordan, Tiger Woods, let's go. Yeah.
Oh yeah, horrible.
Jordan got people addicted to gambling.
Oh yeah, they talk about Terrell Brandon. They or another person, maybe Terrell Brandon. I'm not quite sure, but rookie year gets him with some really troubled people. Got himself in debt. And see, he brought the kid there. He brought the rookie there with him, and Michael has all this money in the world. He brings the kid. The kid gets himself in trouble, loses about $80,000, doesn't have it. Michael doesn't. See, this is the thing about Michael. All-time great, but he's a dick. I'm sorry about the cuss words.
I don't care.
People. And he's a jerk. He didn't. All he had to have done is just go pay off the people. He had it. He had the money, and he let the kid out to dry and nearly got the kid killed.
That's not cool.
And see, here's the thing when I'm talking about Tommy Pham. His last 3 years have been 219 average, 229 average, and now about 241. But he used to be, which looks like it's going up, except for the fact his years before that, in his utility role was like 306, 288. He had a part-time with Tampa Bay with 343. He was St. Louis. He was about a 275 average on those issues. He was a top notch and everything like that. And it's like, not to say that he didn't play fantasy football in those times. It's been around a long time. But it's a point where there's a gambling issue somewhere in there. We're going to find out more about it.
Right.
We are going to find, because it's completely obvious, because his game has suffered. And games are suffering all over the place. I mean, how much about Tiger Woods was his gambling?
Why are they even... Okay, I'm not going to lie. One of the funniest clips I've ever seen was in front of DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Smith, agent 89, cut to it. Ice Up, son. My favorite Panther player ever. Some people think it's Cam. It's actually my
Steve
man.
Smith. Yeah.
89.
Yeah.
All right. In front of DJ Moore, this was a couple years ago, he looks at Cam and he goes, do I need to cut DJ this year from my fantasy team or what? Like, that was just funny. Like, they were just messing. But
I know.
Like, there are legit still memes about that. But
I know. And you can have fun with that. And this is not me. See, there's the frustration of me that says I would love fantasy football or any sports to go, just because. And it's more, when I say that, it's not to go kill the business of it. It's more because I want to play the troll a little bit on some of these people who take it wrong. The ones that are threatening players' livelihoods and their lives over something. It's like if they have a bad week, if they have everything, and they go on social media getting so mad, and they'll want to think because they had a bad week, which, like I said, it's luck. And then if they are doing that and getting mad at it, they're gambling elsewhere.
Yes,
they're losing tons of money.
Yes.
They're losing tons of money, and it's like, it makes me sick with that. Because, like, we brought up Phil Mickelson. It's like Phil Mickelson. I mean, I already brought up the last week I didn't know if you'd seen it, but I brought up last week with the LIV Golf Saudi golf league now versus the PGA Tour. You knew that the more people were coming on that, but it's like you knew Phil Mickelson would do, because he's lost $40 million in gamblings. And he's got $150 million contract right now.
Do you know how many sets of shoes and name brand purses I could buy with that much money? Do you know that I could actually probably make a bid to get other owners and partners to buy my team? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'd probably do a better job too.
Oh no! Here's the thing with Denver. I mean, they're starting to do things like this. I mean, Rob Walton, which is not an exciting owner for Denver, one of his people, I think, has a good percentage. I mean, he has a nice little percentage of the team as the first black woman.
That's cool.
Yeah, she is in there. I forget her name. People can bring up what her name was, a Marone or something. Or Emma, someone can tell me.
Hold on, Jordan Long, where you at, brother?
Is he? What is he here?
No, I'm telling him that I need him.
No, but it's like, but I think her name is Morone, I believe. But she's on that, so like they're allowing these deals now.
I'll message Jordan.
Yeah, but no, they're allowing these things now. You know what I'm saying? You can do this. You can have a chance. Like I said, with that kind of money, I know very well you would probably try to buy a team.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is a topic that I actually want to talk now. But if you think about it, what NFL football teams, I'm asking Jordan to hop on.
Mm-hmm. Feel free, absolutely.
Okay. Denver sports. Denver Broncos. I'm safe. I can't watch the Broncos anymore, though, unless they're playing the Panthers.
Oh, okay. But
topic for another day.
But anyway,
my personal protest.
You were bringing up? You were bringing something up?
I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, the biggest thing is, it's like you could be able to do. I mean, I know what you're saying with that, but like he has a $150 million contract. To me, Phil Mickelson's going to get into the Allen Iverson level. As you give him that much money, he's going to gamble it away.
Well, everybody thought the same about Jordan.
Jordan, you got to realize Phil Mickelson has endorsements, but he doesn't have tons of businesses. His whole thing and the shoots keep bringing money in. See, Jordan with those shoes has the ability to constantly have passive income the rest of his life, gigantic amounts. But Allen Iverson did not, and I don't think Phil Mickelson. I really don't think Phil Mickelson's going to have enough, especially when a lot of the a lot of his ads and his commercials run dry. He isn't making the same money as he was with. And what if I appreciate the new golf league? The PGA needs this wake up call, but what if it fails? See, the thing about Dustin Johnson got 121 million out of it. He got a fat guarantee.
Jordan will hop on in a second.
No problem. He got a fat guarantee, but here's the thing: Dustin Johnson most likely, if it would fail and he's out of the PGA, he'll most likely retire, and he has plenty of money. He has generational money. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Phil, that's not guaranteed. That's not guaranteed.
Yeah, but if Phil's smart about it, listen, I live 20 minutes away from a casino in New Mexico.
You have 20 minutes from everywhere.
Huh?
You have 20 minutes from everywhere.
Well, I live in uptown Charlotte now, but I lived in Santa Fe. So you had a casino in Sandia, which is right outside of Albuquerque. Then we also had a casino in Tsuke, New Mexico, which is right outside of Santa Fe. So out of all of the addictions my husband and I have, gambling isn't one of them. The only gambling I really do annually is I do my Pick'em League, which I won last year.
Right.
Didn't know I was even going to. Hey, what up, Jordan? I'm bringing you on.
Hey, guys.
Hey, you look different. I like the haircut and the shave.
What in the world? You look like JB with hair.
I just hope this doesn't change the Colorado Avalanche, though. I mean, I was growing out my playoff beard, and it just got kind of annoying.
Oh, yeah, I'm good, man.
That's funny.
So we were talking about Denver. So we were talking about the whole Denver situation with Rob Walton, and I was bringing this up. The thing about it is the fact that, to me, it is considering I wanted either Peyton Manning or Byron Allen. You knew that. I wanted one of those two.
Yeah.
No Peyton.
So Rob Walton is boring to me. But to give him credit, we have one of the first black woman now, and has about a 5 to 10% thing on the team, that helps not only black women but other women, because there's not a whole lot of women owners in any type thing outside, and even then the WNBA doesn't have a lot of them either. So I mean, what do you think of the whole thing with Rob Walton and the whole bite right now?
The thing that I look at it is, yes, he obviously is a billionaire. My question for him though is, what kind of culture will he bring in? I mean, yeah, you can have billions of dollars, but if I look at, I'm going to use an example, the Colorado Rockies, their ownership, they're more in it for, the fan experience. They don't care about winning. Does he care
They're
about winning?
related.
That's just my main question. Is
Right.
you're thinking of the Avalanche owners, but my thing
I
is
thought
with the
the Rockies
Monsters
were owned
is
by the
they
same
don't
people.
care about winning. Well, yeah. My question is will he care about winning? And then if you look at what Jen talked about relationship with Ann Walton owning the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche, they care about winning. I just want to build a culture where it's winning. That's what Mr. Pat Bolin made, is a culture where we win. He hated losing. I'm just not sure.
You got to 5 Super Bowls.
Walton. Yeah, that is true. But I'm just worried
now. Yeah.
Does he know about winning? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You're correct. Guess what? If it was Sam Walton, you could say he knows about winning because he built the dang thing in Walmart. This one is inherited it. So do they know about winning other than they have all this? They are basically the Michael Jordan of the retail world, and the fact that the money will keep flowing in no matter what you lose it and blow it. So, but the thing is though, with that $4.65 billion that it came up to, you know what that means now is most likely the next NFL team is going to be for sale, the Chicago Bears, my team. And this is where, and I want to bring this fully up, is why I get so angry. Go ahead.
I actually disagree. I think the Panthers could be up for sale again.
Oh, that's okay. But I just wanted to bring up the Bears. I'll give you a second on this one. That's understood. It's like I want to bring up the Bears thing on this, and absolutely, the reason I get so angry at my team's fans and the team itself is because they've got, as far as star quality, as much generational star quality as anything as far as quarterback they've ever had in their life. Mm-hmm. I mean, with Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. That is I'm forget about the whole thing. I mean, the whole deal. They had that right there. And then the fans wanted to rush because most of them wanted to beat. They didn't like that Mitchell Trubisky has the rookie records. So they wanted to go beat that and do that so badly, which didn't matter because Mitchell Trubisky's gone. He's actually in a better organization, but he's gone. And so they wanted that. Now, not only does that not happen, he goes 2-8. He didn't get the rookie records. They're 2-8. He had under 60%. And now you are risking with everything. If everything goes right and he proves you wrong and they went 14-3 this year and he proved the world wrong, then I will be more than happy, be very happy for him and say, hallelujah, he came through. And it's like, and by the way, that's the emergency problem for the Panthers right now. That's David Tepper. No.
Probably.
But when the thing
he lives in the building behind me, if you can see. Hold on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That tall one?
Yeah.
He lives on the top floor.
Nice.
Yeah, I see that.
Do you scream at him from the top thing, tell him to get off get out?
I may or may not put a sign on my balcony that says "Fire Matt Rule." You fired the wrong coach. Both coaches lost their locker room.
Yeah,
David Tepper. Listen to the
We
Charlotte
both know
Observer.
how you feel about.
Yeah, but
here's the thing, though. I love my players. I love my actual team. I hate my head coach. I'm really mad at my ownership. I've never been the biggest fan of David Tepper, though. I'm not going to lie. I don't like the brass balls over his desk because he don't got any.
And I can see that point. And I want you to be able to talk fully about it when I was going to finish this up and I'll get this right to you because I want to hear more about it. But it's like my biggest deal is if Justin Fields is allowed to be 0-0, sit him. You have Andy Dalton. They'd be 7-10 with him too, 6-11 with him too. It's Andy Dalton. Okay, he's got a nice red. He'd have 390-yard games, and they lose 42-28. Whatever. Mm-hmm. It's like that's what would have happened with Andy Dalton all year long. And that if they would have kept their stupid, we want Justin. Oh my God, we want to break record. If they would have kept that alone, Fields is 0-0. And then you can have all your 3 and 14s or whatever you want with that. And then you can let him have his dominance and do all that stuff. But in the midst of it, you now have a stadium that's probably going to go in Arlington Heights, which is going to bring up the value probably about $7 to $8 billion for the Bears, which will be the record. And then you have Justin Fields, the star. He's probably Byron Allen, as I brought up. Byron Allen could get the Bears now. It's like you probably have the first black owner. You probably have that now. You have all of this. But now, if he goes 3 and 4, if they would go 3 and 14, or he has another 2 and 8 or anything like that, no way. He will be cooked. They will either go get a veteran or they will draft somebody else. And it is because they will do it just because they are going to want the winner right away. Just like when they were in Las Vegas for the Allegiant Stadium, they're going to want something right away for that new stadium, for that new everything, to be able to promote it. They won't trust Fields. And all it would have had to have taken is take a year off. But they were too jumpy. And that's why I get mad at my fans. And I'll leave this over to the Carolina fan over here that wants to kill Tepper.
I don't want to kill the man.
I said get on him.
I may want to give him a swirly.
Yeah.
But he is actually, like, when he lived in my building, he was just here for like 3 weeks while he was finding a place. Okay. And right next to the stadium makes sense. So that being said, like whenever I saw him, or if we were in the elevator together, he was always very nice. So personally, I have no issue with man. I have an issue with how my team's being run. I love my guys. I love my players. I've built relationships with some of them. Like even guys who don't even play for the team anymore. Like we'll interact on social media sometimes. And I love that. And I truly love my actual team. I hate Matt Rule. I've never made any bones about it. I tried to give him credit.
Matt Rule
We did not need a cultural change.
Matt Rule stole your beard, dude.
Matt Rule.
There you go. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Can I send him back to Megan Price's unfavorite team, the Baylor Bears, please? But like when they said that they brought him in because of a cultural change, we had the most positive culture in the entire NFL. No one can dispute that comment. Even if we were losing, we were happy.
Yeah.
We had the coach who had the most integrity. We had football players. We had a quarterback who was broken in 2016 by Von Miller. Thanks, Jordan. And and he never had time to heal. That was my only fault. That was my only fault with Ron Rivera. But that he and Cam were very codependent on each other, and they've admitted as such. Then we have Dum Dum over here who doesn't know how to coach them, and then got mad at him because the most creative play we had seen in through 2 years came when Cam came back on the field at home in Charlotte, home opener against WFT last year. And it was a play Cam to Christian, Christian back to Cam, Cam to Tremble. Most creative damn play. And Rule got his panties in a twist. I'm sorry, he got his little boy boxers in a twist because you know what? He's acting like a little boy. I'm sorry, little girls actually toughen up. He doesn't toughen up. He's like, oh, they don't listen to me. Sorry, I'm not trying to be sexist, but I'm not going to insult women on this. And he's just, I really don't like him. He needs to go away. My girlfriend Sydney thinks he has a 5-game max this year.
We need to give her a 5-minute speed date with Matt Rule. Let's let him talk.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I know, right?
I've already told him before that he's rude, face to face. I looked at him and said, "Sir, this is the third time we've run into each other. You're not in. You're in the South now. You say excuse me."
But no,
he's a jackass.
I will give Matt Rule a little bit of a pass though, because
he gets no passes.
The reason why I'm going to give him a little bit of a pass. Well, hear me out for a second. Look at the Denver Broncos. We've had so many coaches go in and out the last couple of years. I mean, the thing is we had Jacobs defensive coordinator. I was excited about him. Culture
I
change.
told you.
Well, he did. He was an old man. You
I
did.
told you.
You definitely told me. We got rid of him. Now we've got Nathaniel Hackett, a younger guy who I think is going to be more of a player-to-player guy
Sure.
who's going to get on these players and actually have a better relationship. So at least Matt Rule has that. And you guys were a little more creative in your offensive plays. The Broncos
We have 3
were not
plays.
this year. And that's why
Matt Rule has 3 plays. You cannot tell him he's creative. Like literally during the NFL, during the Buffalo Bills, and I'm sorry to cut you off, during the Bills Panthers play game this past year, Trey Boston, who was a safety for us for years and went to UNC, just great Carolina guy, just a good guy all around, sent out a tweet and said, I cannot take credit for this. However, I was just told by several Bills players, #Bills Mafia, that there's a sin rule back to school going around the entire NFL. I remember this tweet verbatim.
School doesn't want rules.
I had Pat Shermer
anymore.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jordan, but yeah,
I had Pat Shermer for 2 years.
That's true, you did. I'm not gonna lie.
At least
I love Phil
creative.
Snow.
Pat Shermer did not have any creative plays. It was all run to the left, run to the right, no play action. It was like, what are we doing? It was the same game plan, game in and game out. But at least Matt Rule tried to do something different. Pat Shermer never did.
No. Matt Rule has not tried to be creative. Like our defense is so good because of Phil Snow. No, what I just described was Cam Newton calling a play and ignoring a head coach. What I just described was Christian McCaffrey the week before ignoring the head coach and going back on the field when he told him he wasn't going to play anymore. Like Christian goes, I'm not going to play anymore? Okay. And he goes and plays.
Hey, try deal with Nagy. He's got 3 plays. Curl. And then,
I got enough nags in my life right now. I don't need a coach named Nagy.
Yeah. It's like it's curl. And then if he wants to be, he can do his jet sweep from like 3rd and inches, and then it goes 5 yards back. That's his idea of creativity. So it's like
like legitimately, like one of the guys, so I have a friend who is high up, and he has a friend who passes out all the Microsoft Surface stuff.
Yeah.
And he was on the sidelines during the Eagles game. The Eagles players were just sitting there chilling, like relaxing, drinking their Gatorade and whatnot. Going, this is their next play. Yeah, it hasn't changed. Literally, when I say Matt Rule has 2 or 3 plays, he has 2 or 3 plays.
He's the human Tecmo Bowl.
When I see, and I feel bad for our defense because our defense is out there. I felt bad for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, if you actually look at the game and not the numbers, he did everything he could do. Like legit, and I was at most of the games. I'm an avid fan. I dare anyone to challenge my fandom. Sam Darnold went out there, did what was asked of him. He did more than what was asked of him, and he didn't want to be here. Yeah. And that came out recently. He told the Jets management he didn't want to be here.
I've got the ultimate football
change with Ben
We're bringing Cam back, and people think I'm crazy. It may be week 5 that we bring Cam back when we're saying "say la vie" to freaking Matt Rule, but we're bringing Cam back. And I think right now the contract negotiations are between us and Seattle, and I think with us, the biggest holdup is him saying I get to call the plays when I'm on the field.
I got the ultimate. By the way, I've got the ultimate football hell. Matt Nagy is coach. Matt Rule is coach. Matt Nagy is offensive coordinator. Paxton Lynch is the quarterback.
There you go. I mean, Paxton Lynch.
I feel like that's the Chicago Bears next year.
That's might be. That might be. Let's go with our laugh. Let's go into Brittany Griner a little bit.
Yeah.
And Jordan, definitely stay. Jordan, stay with us.
Because we know you know basketball.
I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, good. No, the whole thing with Brittany Griner.
And I know the whole situation there.
Yeah. And the thing about people with the Brittany Griner situation, it's like we all know the thing, and he knows the whole situation. We can get to this whole thing. My issue with this, well, absolutely, and it's like, yeah, This is the thing. Where's the Biden administration getting her going? When Rocky ASAP Rocky, I'm not a hip hop guy. When he could get home from a guy who could not stand, where is this? Where is the Biden administration to get her home? And the thing is, why? By itself, we know that the WNBA cannot afford the multi-millions of dollars that Megan Rapinoe thinks they can. We know they can't do that. But what about $1 million a year for their players at least? As for their maximum, just to start. They have to go to Russia to play. They have to go to Russia
to make money.
And they have to go to Greece. They have to go all these.
It doesn't make sense.
10 months a year.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing.
Right.
I don't know that Russia wants money for her. What I last read, and Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong, because I think you know a lot about this. But what I last read was that the Russians wanted an arms dealer back in exchange for Brittany Griner.
Yes, exactly.
And
that's exactly what they want.
And at one point, the Biden administration was close to agreeing to that, but then they added another stipulation. And so I don't know the holdup. I don't know. Jordan, I'll shut up. That's all I know, really.
That's all I know. But what did she really do? She had a little bit of marijuana and she got caught in the airport trying to leave the country. Yeah, supposedly. We don't know. I mean,
no, enter the country.
It's a communist country.
Right.
Yeah, she was trying to leave
the
communist country because a war was breaking out.
How would she get weed in Russia anyway? I still think that had to have been planted. I'm all about conspiracy theories.
It might have been, Jordan. But all I know. Oh no, you're fine. I mean, she was trying to get out of the country. That should be a memo to saying, let's get her out of the country. Let's get her safe at home. The whole holdup is the Russian, government. They're dealing with, war. They're a communist country. I definitely agree with you. It could have been planted. How are we going to get her home? I just don't know that Russia really wants her to leave. It's a problem because of their weird laws. But I mean, the whole deal that they had in place, it fell through. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything more. Would that be a fair trade for the Biden administration? I think the Biden administration should get more involved in this. As for your point, Jacob, these players should be paid more. They don't need to go into Europe or to play basketball to earn more money. It's ridiculous.
They're playing 10 months a year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely ridiculous.
And see, I'm looking at this I'm putting it in this way. I mean, this is one of those subjects where I will make people say hallelujah and then hate me at the same damn time. I'm saying this part. I'm not going to be on Megan Rapinoe's side. I cannot stand her for one thing. I think she's unrealistic. I think she's all
disrespectful.
She's very disrespectful. And here's the thing about her. Let's make this real fast. There's a reason they put Sue Bird out in the middle of this XFL, which we're going to talk about next week, by the way. The XFL, the XFL with together with the X on it. That was with that lawsuit. We'll talk about that next week. But there's a reason they put Sue Bird out in the middle of it instead of Megan Rapinoe. Absolutely the reason. Sue Bird is respected.
Well, and last time Megan Rapinoe was out on the field, she was exceptionally disrespectful to the country she was in.
Yes. There's no question. It's like there's a reason they have that. It was Megan Rapinoe versus The Rock. All of a sudden it's Sue Bird. And by the way, it's not, and we're going into this more next week, it isn't against The Rock. He's the nice guy. They're going to wish it is when they have to deal with Danny. His ex.
Well, and here's the thing, Brittany Griner, honestly, she's there for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Think about it, because the Michigan professor, professor from Michigan, has been there since 2018. We just got one of our military personnel back at another trade. Russia's just being Russia. Putin is a jackass. I'll say it to his face. I don't care. You're in my country. You can't kill me. You don't get democratic immunity for...
That dude's got cancer and he's dying. I mean, that dude is dying. And
I completely agree with you, Jen.
He's just a jackass.
I mean, I definitely agree with you.
I know.
Well, and I mean, all the citizens are going with the propaganda. They're believing what he's saying. and not believing what others are saying about him. And I know this for a fact because my uncle is married to a Russian lady, and she got mad because the Russian TV isn't on, and she's believing all the propaganda that Putin is great. He's the best man out there, which he's not. She's not believing all these lies, unfortunately, or the lies that he's telling the country.
Well, and here's where we used to live, like Jordan, you may have missed it. Jacob was making fun of me for always living 20 minutes from somewhere. But when we were in New Mexico, we knew some people who were from Russia, and they can't ever go back, even if a family member passes away, because Putin wants them in the programs they were working, because they're that smart. Like, they can legitimately never go back home.
Well, the crazy thing is this lady wants to go back home because her family is still there, but it's like she doesn't realize how better of an opportunity she has in the United States than she would have in Russia.
See, a lot of people forget this in the United States. We do have the most opportunities for every type, but here's the deal. People forget that there are older people, that there are families, that there are all things and there will be people that say, I only know this world. Here's the thing, for all of all the opportunities that we have in this country, our country can be very intimidating to people that are from a country that have maybe 10 million people. We have 330 million. And that's not insulting our country, obviously. I love my country.
I know you do.
It can be exceptionally intimidating to somebody that's from 10 million person country.
Well, yeah, but then those same people are trying to get in.
No, I'm talking about the ones that say they don't want to go or they want to stay back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's finish out tonight. We have a good thing to finish out tonight. It's like, and Jordan, you're going to love this one. ABA. Since you've been reading on it, I'm going to let you to this one so far.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. So, Jordan, the Pundits Pundit over there sent me an article. Let me find my phone real quick about why am I blanking right now?
ABA, what we had was the main thing about it was the fact, Jordan, that the ABA that had the merger with the NBA in '76 and it didn't bring the pensions with it.
Yes.
So now absolutely right now there are ABA players that are dying broke. One just did, named Sam Smith. They're dying broke, and some are living under bridges.
Oh yeah.
They could easily have $2,000 in pension every month.
Every month.
They don't. That could be $35 million, which basically that's about the half of what they give in fines from the players in every time of year. You know what I'm saying?
That's one fine from one player in one game. But yeah, so basically the facts about the ABA pension rights and the issue, and this is why they're being sued, because as Jacob mentioned, we've got basketball players literally living under bridges and homeless right now because they're not getting
in their 70s. In their 70s.
So the real ABA created the modern NBA game, including the three-pointer, which was created at Western Carolina University. That's when the first three-point shot was recorded. Side note. Anyway, fast-paced, high-fly-in play, All-Star Weekend. I'm literally reading this from realnba.com, okay? The ABA players were all promised equal rights to the NBA players during the merger, and the ABA players have been ignored ever since. They should have had full pension rights, just like their NBA brethren, and that's what the lawsuit's about. I do think we need to go in more depth in this, Jordan. If you want to come on next week, I'll text you this article. But
I'd like to hear from him right now, too, though. You know?
Yeah, I can. But yeah, basically, like the NBA is not fulfilling their end of the bargain, and then they're trying to pull a freaking Roger Goodell. Sorry.
You're gonna be answering to Eric tonight.
I know, but I'm really glad I don't have a streaming on the other podcast networks too. Oops.
But that's her middle name.
This has been a problem with.
Yeah.
I was just going to say this has been a problem not only for the NBA with the ABA, but it's also happening in the NFL with these older players. They finally gotten the medical issues resolved. But if you look at it, yes, the ABA the NBA should step in and pay these players the money that they're owed. Because like you said, they're living on streets, they're dying without money. And the NBA is what, a multi-billion billion-dollar industry right now.
Mhm.
How hard is it to give them a few $1,000s a month for them to live a little bit of a life?
Do you know what gets me with this? What I think about is like these leagues get so egotistical and so cocky. They think they get the world, but then guess what? The PGA is losing their players to Saudi Arabia, to a Saudi Arabian thing for that golf league now, the LIV. They are losing.
Jacob, that's been going on for years.
No, but it has been. I'm just bringing it up. I'm just giving an example.
That's true.
Like there's that. The NCAA now has the deal with NIL, the name, image, likeness, and people paying, and people they have to getting cars to go to universities because they were sanctioning the coaches who wanted to buy a meal at 1 a.m. for a kid who's grieving. Guess what? That happened to Rick Majerus. One of his kids was grieving their mom's death or something like that, or his uncle's death or something. Bought the kid a meal and he got sanctioned. These things, all of these things, we're giving examples of what these leagues do, and then this kind of stuff happens. And now we're dealing with the NBA, the ABA deal, and it's like something's got to happen here. Something's got to happen where we start getting a conscience. Because the next sports that's going to happen is tennis. If the golf wasn't even as, but it's like you get tennis players, the 150, 200 in the world, and they have to go to the future circuits. They're hoping they get to the quarterfinals so they can get to the next town. They don't even care if they win because a win is $15,000, and then you get to the next country that spends about a third of that. Plus you get taxes, plus you get everything. Tennis players are severely underpaid. This is going to happen next. This is going to happen, especially with a player like, say, Nick Kyrgios, who hates tennis. You don't think he would take a $100 million contract in a flash? And it's like, all of this, people will talk about the evils of Saudi Arabia. Yeah, people will talk about the evils of Saudi Arabia, but we have evils of not paying the ABA pensions. This is a different type of evil, and then this stuff happens. They're not going to worry about they're not going to worry whatsoever about, what they did to Jamal Khashoggi over in Saudi Arabia when they see a paycheck and they hadn't seen it from them in the ages.
Right.
They're not going to think about that.
Well, and I really hope at least these families, I hope whatever lawyer is representing these guys, these players, honestly, I really hope
that was the lawyer right there.
Probably. Ding, ding. I really hope that they honestly do it pro bono. These guys have been taken advantage of. Their likelihood, everything, likeness. Sorry, really long week and a half, guys. Really long.
That's fine.
Their likeness has been taken advantage of. They've been taken advantage of, and it's disgusting. And as someone who works in the finance industry, and I've been in the finance industry for 22 years now. I hate it when anybody's taken advantage of. And the fact that the NBA, who could pay these men out of their change in their pockets, out of their lunch fund, no, we're not going to pay you. No, you're actually, I hope these players and their families and the estates go after them with a vengeance and with everything they got. I hope one of them becomes an owner, comes in charge of the NBA.
Well, here's another thing I'm just going to say this with LeBron James, since he's been the power of this thing. He's already talking about buying the team in Las Vegas, which truly I don't think he has to buy because I think it's going to be Sacramento going over there in the first place. But you've heard that from me from ages. But here's what
LeBron James needs to stop trying to be Michael Jordan. Go away.
No, but here's the thing about this. Yeah, right. But here's the thing about LeBron. If he really is going to, LeBron's created his own school. LeBron's done this stuff. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I'll give him that credit for creating his own school.
I'll give him credit for his philanthropic work.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's null and voided to me also because of his ties to China.
Well, there's no question of that, but I'm going to ask this one question. It's like he's probably not going to see this, but I'm going to ask this. Where's his involvement in this? Since he is a billionaire now, why isn't he offering his amount or an organization to help the ABA players?
We got to get a LeBron James fan. We need to carry this over until next week. We probably need to ask Jahan Phillips to come on because I know he's a big fan of LeBron James.
I want to ask that. let's see this. Let's see if that can get to him and see if he can start an organization or a nonprofit to go get them paid. Let's see.
What about Mark Cuban making a stink? Like, I would love to see Mark Cuban do this. I mean, straight up. We do have to end though. Jordan, will you come back next week?
I can. Yeah, I'm available.
No problem.
We want you. We got you 3 times in 1 week, buddy. Woo woo. And P.S. Go Celtics.
And your beard is missing you.
So is LeBron James's beard.
I just hope it's not. I just hope it's not, bad luck for the Avalanche when they start whenever the Stanley Cup final is.
Understood, man. Well, dude, it is absolutely awesome seeing you, and we will see you next week. All right, bud?
Yes. Thank you, Jordan.
All right. Sounds good,
wait,
man.
Jordan, tell everybody where they can find
welcome.
you real quick before we close.
So you can find me on Twitter at SportsScoop1. Of course, I'm on the Confidential with these two. And I write a blog Mondays through Thursdays with podcasts on Fridays at sports-scoop.com. And I also have my own show, which is called Under Review, where I talk about Colorado sports for the most part and a sprinkling of national sports headlines as well.
Thank you so much, Jordan. We appreciate it. Jacob, tell everybody where they can find you, my friend.
Well, by the way, as it says right down there, we're sponsored by Score or No Score, found on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Thank you very much for putting that on there. We almost forgot tonight.
We did.
No, yeah, we did. Oh, well. But it's like on Mondays during the season, I will always call this out. Megan Price's NBA Carousel, different team next year, thank God. Tuesdays, Confidential. With there's so many of us with Confidential. Thursday nights here. Sunday nights with the Basket Bros with Will Vogel, with me, with Jay Nelson, Denzel Snipes, and Dom DeRubis, the ultimate human beer. The ultimate human beer. And
this week, we've got the ultimate missing beard, Mr. Jordan Long, as our guest.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
And I'm the producer of that show. And y'all can find me on 3 Chicks in a Pod Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's me and my girls, Megan Price, the Queen of Hoops, and Miss Carrie Johnson. I hope you're feeling better. And then we also have Confidential with these 2 gentlemen, as well as Mr. Steve Schwanta, hosted by JB Ellis the last 2 weeks by Jordan Long, and produced by Mr. Denzel Snipes. NBA Carousel on Monday nights as well. NFL Carousel during the season. And also on occasion on the Sip Off. And then a couple others. And I have a couple others in the pipeline that I'm thinking about.
Well, here's the thing. On your 3 Chicks, talk about the ABA also. Let's just get this thing extended.
Yeah, we need to get this out. I'll talk to my girls. I'll let Carrie respond tomorrow.
No problem. You guys take care. You have a wonderful night.
You too. Good night, guys.
Night.
All right. See you guys.
Don't leave yet.